Oh, Tim, do you want to fix yours? Sure. Thank you, Dean. 我講廣東話，我係中國係香港嚟嘅，我就嚟咗呢度40年，將近40年啦。我叫做梁修儀，我哋就我個先生就姓陳嘅，呢個係我個兒子，佢係叫做陳浩源，thank you。My name is Sarah Chan, and I'm Chinese, born in Hong Kong. I've been here in Australia for 40 years. This is my son, Tim, and today we are very happy to be talking about what Tim's gone through, some of his experiences.
Hi. Tim. I like to
Okay.
say with
Keep going.
Hi.
Finish. That's right.
Hi Tim, I like to say it's good to talk about my experiences as someone with autism.
Yeah. When Tim was diagnosed with autism at 3 years old, we went to a lot of different people, consultants, psychologists, teachers, speech pathologists, to find out what's the best way to go forward. And of course, there's a lot of options out there. So we did early intervention.
Right.
We did a home program with ABA, which is a behavioral program, very intensive behavioral program. We did speech therapy, and we also did like a number of things like physical movement, gymbaroo, and things like that. One of the things they told me was that there's a school in Melbourne which specializes in looking after children with autism. So we went there, applied for the funding, we went there. But after, and I always felt that it was important for Tim to get some time in mainstream school. So we went to the school and asked for integration, which we sort of eventually got for half a day a week at the primary school, that local primary school, and it was the first couple of years Tim seemed to be doing okay, but I went in to do volunteering, and I found that a lot of times he was just lying on the floor because there were some very high need students in the class, and the teachers had their hands full because these children were sort of a bit disruptive. They were running around and they were loud, and Tim, because he's got hypersensitive hearing and sight and touch, he would be just lying on the floor with his hands on his ears and eyes closed. And I thought, oh, this is not a good thing. If I'm there and I see this, what's happening if I'm not there? There'll be times when he's just not getting the attention he needed. So I asked the school whether we can have full-time integration, or not quite. Before that, I asked the school if we can sort of increase his time at the primary school to 2 or 3 sessions a week, and they said no, he's not really there yet. He's not speaking. He needs a lot more attention. He's not doing very well at integration. I don't think we go that way. And so I thought I really needed to pull him out. That's no way I can let him stay on. So I went to have a look around, and then we eventually got him enrolled. I took him out of the school, got him enrolled at a country school. It's about 80 kilometers from Melbourne. So we have most of the week, most of the weekdays we'll be up there, and the family will be down there. So like he's in a full-time mainstream school, primary school, very small, very friendly. But because he's autistic, he wasn't able to adjust very well because it was not his own setting. Like it wasn't a family around. We were in a different place. The school was very different, had different teachers, of course, different classmates, different routines. And he wasn't doing very well, you know. He would lie on the floor again, or hit people, or run off outside the classroom. So after a term, I came back to Melbourne. I approached the primary school here that he did his integration. I spoke to them and eventually got them to agree to take Tim back. And Tim, I think, you know, after about a year or so, was really settled in primary school. He was very happy. He was accepted by the classmates, and he did most of what the other kids do. He went to camp, he went to the ball, he did dancing, and he went to assembly. He was actually got a Student of the Week award in grade 4, I think, and he graduated in year 6 with the rest of the class. So I think that was a success. I believe that there should be a place where Tim can get individual attention, where he can be stimulated intellectually, because through the home program, I know that he's intelligent and he's able to do things most kids his age can. So I think that knowing that he's not going to be happy if he's just not doing very much with his intelligence, with his mind, I think that was what sort of pushed me to take that plunge.
What were the good things about going to a mainstream primary school? What was good for you?
I think I think it helped because the students did not have major issue. The class was more purposeful, calmer and organized. Besides, they are fun to be with.
So he was in grade 5. So he's got a little, I guess, an award for doing well in maths. I think he was, this is the sort of experience that I really wanted him to have, because it was as close as to his brothers and sisters as possible. Because if he was at special school, and he'll be doing different things, but it wouldn't be the same. Like the kids were sort of like organizing themselves, being the monitor to clean up, and spreading newspaper there, and sort of like working in groups. So he will sit at a desk, and he'll just do his work, and then some people will come and sort of like have a look at what he's doing, and it's just a very happy place. Just something that I just thought he really enjoyed. He's finished secondary school. We got this last week in the mail. So that's his year 12 graduation. He's got a little keyring. My school was very hard because it was a much bigger school, and because also Tim didn't really grow up with that. They were from probably about 10 to 12 different primary schools, so he didn't have them. They didn't know him as he was growing up, through the primary school years. So it was very hard for him to engage with them. It was very hard for them to understand him, because most of the time they would not have come across someone with autism. And at first, Tim wasn't able to type with anyone. The school didn't know what he was capable of doing. I wasn't allowed to be at school. It's a secondary school. I wasn't allowed to be at school to help him with the typing. So the first 2 years was very difficult. And so finally, in year 9, sort of in second term, year 9, there was an aide who was able to type with him, and he was able to talk to someone. Yeah. So, but it was a difficult time, because adolescence, as you know, he wants to be part of the group. He's not able to do that. He feels he's so different. He got very frustrated and angry, got very depressed as well.
Okay. What would you like to do now?
Going to
Chào về.
time.
Hi.
I need to get tertiary qualification in law. It's going to be a long road, but let's just do it one step at a time. I have successfully applied for a Futures for Young Adults program, and we will train people to support my typing. It is very difficult to do the things you want if you have a disability, so we need the support of people who understand us and how to work with organizations to get what we want.
Hi.
I had two great advocates who supported me through high school.
Hi.
As I think I've mentioned before, that because we are Chinese, we don't usually try to bring attention to ourselves. We tend to do what live our lives and just sort of get the work done and just be don't pay, don't usually have a wide network of people who can support us in for instance our rights. But I was very lucky to be introduced to Emmy from Star Victoria through Rosemary Crossley, who taught Tim how to use the machine for his typing, and she actually helped me in sort of getting and she also supported us in telling me that it is my right for Tim to be going to a mainstream secondary school. She was at SSG meetings with us at school. We talk over the phone, or we'll meet and talk about the strategies we need to get the school to agree to how to help Tim. And later in the piece, because we were also wanted to have sort of like more ammunition, we approached Communication Rights Australia, which is another organisation that I think Rosemary talked to us about, and they have given us two advocates, and the Eden Paris, who has been our advocate since Tim was in year 8, has been great in helping us negotiate with the school for his right to use a means of communication that is his preferred mode of communication. You can put it there. Okay, thanks.
I want to do meaningful things and make a contribution. I am also interested to do fictions. I want to get into characters' heads and build a plot based on the context of their personalities. Mentor. I want to explore what writing means, but I'd love to get a mentor.
Fantastic.
Yarra Bend Park. We often take the dogs down here, but Tim just loves to have a run around.